Want to take a look at our Showdown spotlight tonight, shine a light on a few different drivers. We'll begin with Dick Berggren.
And I'm going to pick Eric Holmes to win this race because he is a finisher. Not only fast, he's always around at the end. Last year, 25% of the field crashed out. Holmes will be there at the checkered flag. Jim?
Dick, Jason Bowles starts ninth. He won 3 consecutive West races in 2008 and 2009 and was a 09 champion in the West Series. This year, hunting for a ride, he raced in 5 different NASCAR divisions. This is somewhat of a home track for Jason Bowles. Tucking that Showdown trophy under his arm as he searches for a ride in Daytona would help his cause greatly. Phil?
Jim, let's take a look at the 0-3 of Max Gresham. We mentioned earlier he won twice last year in the East Series. 17 years old. It's announced that he will attend Belmont Abbey University in the fall before he turns 18. He also won an ARCA Racing Series race in 2010. Look for Max Gresham to move up from his 6th starting position, Rick.
And last year, it was Sergio Pena who came into this race relatively unknown and made a name for himself. This year, I might think of Brennan Newberry as taking on that role. He will start 4th in this race. Brennan Newberry from Bakersfield, California, where Mesa Marin Racetrack used to be. Brennan had a lot of success early on in the short tracks, and last year was 21st in this event. But I would expect a lot better performance out of him tonight. We'll ride along with 4 different drivers this evening. One of those being Travis Pastrana. He promised to keep it on all 4 tires tonight. He will carry one of our cameras.
We're also going to ride along in the South Point Hotel and Casino Toyota of Steve Wallace, starting back in the 16th position.
Darrell Wallace Jr. in the number 6 will also carry one of our onboard cameras. It should be interesting to ride along with him.
We're also going to ride on with a Napa onboard camera of our 3-time champion Eric Holmes. Eric will start from the 11th spot.
You saw the pace car make the hard left turn off of the racetrack, putting the field into the hands of Derek Thorne in the 44. He's on the outside. Greg Pursley on the inside. Green flag in the air. We're underway.
They're already 3 wide. Jason Fenslow, the 50 car, jumps down to the bottom.
Saw in the late model race guys taking advantage of the low line around this racetrack, and early on here in the K&N Pro Series, we're seeing guys also try that apron.
Let's call it 4 wide.
4 wide coming out of turn number 4. That was the 20 of Eric Holmes. It's taking the below the white line route.
Jason Bowles, the 75 car, the black and white car on the bottom of the racetrack, and Eric Holmes went below him.
Mayhew in the 19 up on the high side. That's Michael Self in the 21 right in the middle. Jason Bowles in the 75. Trying to work his way around Andrew Ranger in the 35. Here comes Holmes. Looking at the inside of Herman Quiroga.
Well, they're all stacked up on the outside in the middle of the racetrack, and Eric Holmes said plenty of room down here on the bottom.
Eric Holmes trying that low line around this racetrack. Again, just 6 degrees of banking at the bottom of this track. And on fire in turns 1 and 2, Augie Vinovich in the 11. That car was a ball of fire in turn number 1. Augie Vinovich gets it stopped just to the entrance to the infield.
Augie was the most recent winner here in the West Series at this racetrack back in July. Doesn't look like that fire got into the cockpit of the car. Augie taking his time to get out of the car.
Take a quick look.
Well, that car was certainly blazing. But no fire in the cockpit. That's what's important. All underneath the car, but nothing in the cockpit.
And on the back of the race car. The fluid's kicking up. Back behind the 11 of Augie Vinovich. So a difficult start for Augie Vinovich. He's out of the race car, which is a good sign, but I'm sure he'll be disappointed that his night is already done. Derek Thorne holding on to the top spot. We'll be right back for more Green Flag Racing. Cleanup continuing after the 11 of Augie Vinovich caught on fire entering turn number 1. There's the 11 pulled into the infield. All of the vehicles will actually make their way into the infield here. They won't take them out of the racing facility.
Pretty much a spectacular exit to the race for Augie. The officials have to take their time cleaning that up too, because we saw Eric Holmes, among others, with all 4 wheels down below that white line. So the track officials need to make sure that that is clean when we go back to racing.
It has become one of the grooves tonight, which is surprising after seeing qualifying and the qualifying races that we've seen earlier yesterday as well as earlier today. Let's go into the infield. We start with Dick Berggren.
And speaking of Eric Holmes, he told me before the start of the race that his strategy tonight was going to be to cool it for the first 100 laps, probably the second 100 laps as well, and then go for it at the end. But at the drop of the green flag, Holmes went 4 deep on the bottom. Says the car just doesn't have the motor he needs to have it come off the corner as fast as he would like.
Dick, on the bottom is where that oil dry is being put down. Spotter Matt Crafton to his driver Travis Pastrana, who currently runs in the 18th spot, cautioned him to stay high, but also cautioned his driver under this yellow flag to make certain he knows if someone's underneath him, they may lose grip. So be very, very cautious. Pastrana did say he was just cruising to this point in the race and was having thoughts about maybe trying a few moves, but to this point just riding along in his NASCAR debut as we are under caution. And Pastrana has continued to have radio problems. I want to give you that update as well. It sounds like it's being stepped on by one of the fan assistance radios, so they're having some difficulty still in communicating with their driver.
They will have a second frequency in that car that he probably may elect to go to be able to have a clear channel.
Cleanup continuing after Augie Vidovic's fire to number 11. They're closing in on getting that done, and we'll be back for the green flag. Our biggest season of live Supercross action rolls on as Stewart, Dungey, and Villapoto continue their battle for 2-wheel supremacy. Don't miss Monster Energy Supercross live from San Diego Saturday, February 19th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, only on Speed. Pace car's made its way off the racetrack. We're 2x2. Out in front, Derek Thorne on the high side, Greg Pursley on the low side, making up row 1. Green flag back out.
What a great restart by Derek Thorne. Clears Greg Pursley. Now Sean Case jumps to the bottom.
Case looks at the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, sideways goes the 27 of Ruben Ravello.
Amazingly enough, I think he may be the only car involved, and we stay green.
Field making their way through 3 and 4. Ravello gets it straightened back out. And they stay 2 and 3 wide at the front of this pack.
What a mess.
There's Steve Wallace in the South Point Casino, 66 to the inside. He's taking the low line. Eric Holmes riding right in the middle of the racetrack.
See Jonathan Gomez, the 22 car on the outside. Jonathan had a great first year last year, 6th in points in the West Division.
Moses Smith back there in the 16. Herman Quiroga in the 2, just behind Travis Pastrana. Here comes Matt Kobaluk in the 40.
It's Paulie Hiraka, the 12 car, right in front of Travis. Remember that 40 car that's behind Travis? That's a 2-time winner this race, Matt Kobaluk.
06 of Luis Martinez Jr. also in this group of cars. Derek Thorne and Greg Pursley have pulled away from 3rd place. Brendan Newberry.
There's Jason Fensler, the 50 car, now running 4th. That's the same car that Augie Vidovic was able to drive to victory back in July when we were talking about Augie.
David Mayhew in the 19, also making his way up there in the top 5. Take another look at the 27 car, having problems in turn 1.
He jumped down to the inside of Paulie Hiraka in the 12 car. Wasn't enough room, lost the back end. The 23 of Spencer Gallagher did a great job avoiding Ruben in the 27 car.
Ruben Ravello got it going again, and we stayed green. David Mayhew in the 19 down on the lower portion.
Fensler has been able to get by Brennan Newberry to take over that 3rd spot. There's Darrell Wallace Jr. in the Toyota onboard for Revolution Racing right now, right behind Newberry.
I talked about Newberry. Oh, we've got problems with the 23 stopped on the racetrack. Spencer Gallagher. He's down on the yellow line, and that will bring out the yellow flag. So the second caution of the night coming out. The first one, Augie Vidovich, his car burst into flames, and now this time it's Gallagher stopping on the yellow line, bringing out our second caution.
Then he was able to get that car refired.
Sounds like we're hearing NASCAR is going to assess a 2-lap penalty to Gallagher for actually bringing the caution out, stopping under green flag conditions to bring the caution out.
Yeah, they're going to rule that he did that intentionally, stopped, and then once they threw the caution, then he refired the car and moved away. So NASCAR's going to frown on that. Here he gets sideways, does a little half spin.
Tries to straighten it back out, goes into the grass.
Obviously his car running right now.
But then he stops.
Yeah, he looks like he decided to stop there to try to bring the caution flag up because he had lost so much track position. And unfortunately, NASCAR said, we're not going to allow you to do that, and they're going to bring him in here and hold him for a couple laps. There's a NASCAR official right there standing in front of the car.
So the field will go by him twice. So he will receive the 2-lap penalty. Jim Trado.
Well, guys, Spencer Gallagher's making his debut in this race car. He's had track time just on Friday. They didn't shake the car down before this. He is working with T.J. Clark, whose son Spencer Clark passed away after an accident on the road coming back from a race, and unfortunately lost his life in that accident. This is an effort. They'll race a full 2011 season with Spencer Gallagher behind the wheel, and they're also going to run some East races. So tough lesson learned here, Dick.
Sean Case has always been a factor in these showdown events. Every single one of them he has run, he is challenged for the win. Tonight the car is not to his liking. He started in the 3rd position in car number 9. He has dropped back to the 7th spot. They are talking about major adjustments to the car when we take the break at approximately the 100-lap point.
That's what's beautiful about this format, is the fact that they can make some major adjustments. If they just had a normal pit stop, they wouldn't be able to make just maybe a cursory wedge adjustment or a track bar, maybe some air pressure. But now they can do some wholesale changes, and the car that may not be good in this first 100-lap segment may be the car to beat in the last 25-lap segment.